Hey everyone, it's Ray from the Teach Better team. I get to be live today with Kelly, Nicole, and Laura, and we are just hanging out, guys. Honestly, it is bi-weekly family check-in time. We go live every single Sunday. Well, that's a lie. Actually, we go live every other Sunday, but we just seem to go live every Sunday. I don't know if it feels like that for you guys, but we just really wanted to be here tonight, set the tone for the week, talk shop, share resources, and we'll talk about whatever comes up. So get ready for the fun. We'll be here up until when you run out of questions. So get your questions going in the comments as well as saying hello in the comments. And let's get this started. Hey everyone, it's Ray from the Teach Better team. We are live on this beautiful Sunday evening. I don't know about you guys, but it is really gloomy where I live. So when I say beautiful, I mean in spirit, because it's definitely not pretty outside. But I get to be live with Kelly, Nicole, and Laura. You guys know them. These are incredible educators that have been a part of the Teach Better family. They're also affiliated with that incredible nonprofit Education Blueprint. And girls, I am just excited to hang out with you. Our Sundays are always full of, like kind of enjoying the weekend and then getting ready for the week. And every single time we have a bi-weekly family check-in, I just get more and more excited to take questions and welcome the family and hopefully kick off the week right. So how are the three of you feeling? Are you like ready to bring the energy on a Sunday evening? Or are we feeling a little sleepy?
I'm so ready.
I'm ready. Yeah. Always ready.
Well, especially with you, Ray. You bring so much energy.
You're so sweet, Laura. I love hanging out with you guys. Like truly in my mind, we could all be on a Zoom call just catching up. And then I'm like, oh, but let's live stream it because that makes sense. That's the world we live in now. But I love so many people in the comments. We have Dave here, Nikki's here, Carrie. And honestly, every single thing around the team is fair game. We are just taking questions. We're relaxing. We're setting the tone for the day. I actually just was live literally like within the past 15 minutes. I was live for almost an hour with Unlock the Middle, which was a great conversation with two principals. So I feel like that was like the pregame a little bit, ladies. Like now I'm excited to like continue the good conversation. And all of you watching, you get to dictate how this conversation goes. Kelly and Nicole and Laura, we're just here to talk shop and we'll update you on what's going on in our lives. But if you have questions for us, please let us know and throw them in the comments. It looks like Dave's trying to start us off though, ladies. How do you feel about like Dave already asking a question? We're not even 3 minutes in. Like, doesn't it?
Let's get into this one. It's a good question.
Yeah, this is a great question.
Laura, or Nicole, do you want to take it or you want me to?
Here, I'm gonna read it out loud really quick because we do have people that listen to this after the fact, and sometimes they tell me they're like, Ray, we love watching when the team's live, but I'm like also cooking dinner and holding a baby and like doing all this stuff. So if you're not watching or if you're listening to this on a bonus episode of the podcast, we promise we'll read all the comments out loud. Watch the road. Don't get in trouble. Dave is kicking off our questions already 4 minutes in, and he's saying, I was asked this week, what's the difference between Education Blueprint and Teachers Pay Teachers? Can you explain? Kelly, Laura, Nicole, I don't know who wants to take this, but I get asked this actually all the time. So I'm thrilled that we're starting with this question because Education Blueprint, if you guys are not familiar, go to educationblueprint.org. It's similar to Teachers Pay Teachers in some ways and then so different in other ways. So how do we tackle this question?
I'll start and then please add in Laura and Nicole. So we are fans of Teachers Pay Teachers. We've used the site ourselves. So this is nothing against Teachers Pay Teachers. We value educators sharing with other educators. Specifically, one strand that's the same is that you can share downloadable content on Teachers Pay Teachers and on Education Blueprint. The major difference with us, though, is that's just one piece of our puzzle on Education Blueprint of our organizational culture. We also share every other type of resource that can help an educator in the classroom. So not only can you find downloadable content and downloadable grids from the Teach Better team and the Teach Better network, you can also also find apps and websites and books and podcasts and research and other things that we feel are relevant to a teacher's life. So we want to share everything, not just downloadable content. Not only do we want to share everything, we want you to be able to log in. And every time you log in, we want you to find new resources that have been shared by other educators that are applicable to your subject, to your grade level, to your core standards that you're trying to follow and knock out. So we have one strand that's similar to Teachers Pay Teachers, but other than that, it's a whole world that organizes all of the resources out there for you.
Okay, I'm embarrassed. I've never explained that part of it ever. And I'm like such a educationblueprint.org fanatic. I talk about it all the time. I have never explained that piece of it. So Kelly, I'm like, sorry, but also, wow, what a great thing to emphasize. I never even thought of that. So I can go there for like a resource, like a worksheet, but I can also go there to find websites and books and everything in between. That is a total game changer.
Right. Right. And we want you to go to one spot for everything and not have to be jumping around, searching the internet, chasing colleagues down the hall. We want you to be able to come in one space and find what educators value. And it's all curated. So anything you find, you can rate, and the good stuff will filter to the top, as we know. But we want everyone on there sharing so we can help each other out, especially during this time. We're all doing the emergency remote teaching model, and we're all teaching amid a pandemic. So the more that we can share with one another to alleviate that burden on each other is our goal with Education Blueprint.
So I want to ask like kind of a silly question, like Nicole or Laura, I know you guys do so much to like continuously, and Kelly, you guys are building this nonprofit, literally like created by educators, like run by educators, focused on educators. I love this idea that I can share like my favorite education book on it, or like a resource I really liked. I mean, Laura, Nicole, I know your backgrounds are different, but I'm sure you've read books that helped shape you as a person, as an educator. Like those are resources I can go to educationblueprint.org and find versus just like downloading like a cool fractions worksheet. You know, like, is there a book that you love that you're excited to have featured on there?
Oh gosh. For me, I think just like the videos. Well, we want to add, that's one thing that we want to add. So that's something that we've been talking a lot about, but just having like, just the books and the apps, I think are really helpful. I know this year I went from teaching ELA pretty much my whole entire career to teaching math. So I've been doing a lot of research on my end of different math apps and books and research, and what does the research say about how to help kids learn math best. And so the things that I've been finding, I've been trying to add to the website just to help other teachers. So I think just the fact that it's just kind of a one-stop shop for everything that you need to teach, I think that just, it's so valuable. There's really nothing else out there that's like it, which I think is just even more of a reason for people to get involved with it and to check it out and give it a try and to add to it, because people know probably, I'm sure someone out there is like, oh, I teach 5th grade math too. You know, I know a resource that she could use, or I know this research or something like that. And, you know, I wouldn't know that if I didn't have Education Blueprint. So, you know, it's definitely something that can help all of us, no matter what situation we're in, no matter what school role we're in either. You can be a principal and get onto this. You could be a school counselor, a gifted education teacher, special education teacher, so many backgrounds. It's not just a classroom teacher. So that's something I really wanted to emphasize too there.
Yeah, I'm even thinking like Dave Schmittou is the one that asked this question. Dave's written so many books. One of the ones that I literally get asked about all the time, and I'm like, why are you always reading Dave's books? I'm just kidding. But his most recent one's on assessment. And I know so many people search websites and to find standard aligned assessments. So not only can you go to Education Blueprint to download an assessment on a standard that obviously you're working on with students, but to be able to then find a text that's going to then encourage you to like understand assessment more deeply, be able to understand how to evaluate assessment and what makes a good assessment. Like that actually is taking it so much further than just grabbing hold of a resource. And I love this concept that the mission of the work that all of you continue to do is just wanting to be helpful. And it's not about like, it's not about finding the right tool, because those exist and they're going to just continuously be on the website, but also how can we grow as learners? And I love that that is something that you guys are further emphasizing.
I like when you bring that up, Ray. The professional development side of the site is something we want to be just as powerful as the part that you can download. We know that there's a lot of shared resources out on the internet that you can download, some for free, some paid. On our website, we vow to keep everything free. That's why we wanted to form this as a nonprofit. But just the books alone, every one of us has been in some sort of training or at some sort of conference where we've received a book that's actually changed our career. Just being in school, the first days of teaching is a favorite book of mine. But I was a writing teacher for a long time, so I have a few recommendations even I know I still need to upload to the website. And it's just taking the time. I'm one person in one classroom in one district out of 500 in our state. You know, there's plenty of teachers out there that are doing this, and you know, we need that one organizational place to share. But I know there's a lot of good books that have helped me even recently that I need to put on there to share with others. My most recent favorite is Total Participation Strategies. I shared it last time. I think that was, I don't know if it was with you, Ray, or somebody else on the team. I think it was the other night when we were with Chad, maybe. But Total Participation Strategies is awesome because it's a book, and I already have that one posted on there, that is full of all sorts of engagement strategies. And you could be an art teacher, a health teacher, a math teacher, a science teacher. It doesn't matter what your content area is. And they're just little tricks to get all kids engaged in the learning. So, you know, I went to a training. I've used the tip cards from there ever since, and it's on the website. And, you know, if all of us are doing that and sharing that, then when I go to sort and filter different subject areas, things will pop up that help me. So that one's under instruction management to help everybody out there.
Well, and the reality is like, we've talked about Education Blueprint, right? Like if you guys are listening right now, you've heard about it. We love this nonprofit. We have this beautiful Gift a Grade campaign going on through the month of December, encouraging every single person in the Teach Right family, upload one resource. Maybe it's a website you really like. Maybe it's an app you really like. Maybe it's a mini lesson idea or a full unit. You choose your poison, but upload one thing. Everyone knows that's going on. I feel like it's all over social media. We've done a ton of lives on it. I really would love for this conversation to focus more on like who you guys are, right? Because we always hear about this thing we should be doing, right? I always say should, and I think of Lindsay Titus, who's in our family, and she always talks about living in Shouldville. You should share your stuff. That's true. Go share an Education Blueprint. But it's also something that like we feel more inclined to share. We feel more inclined to be generous when we know the people that we're being generous with alongside. And so do you guys mind if we like completely derail this conversation? And I'd love to have you guys like tell us about yourself. Like not even you as educators, but like who are each of you as people? How you know, how do you function every day in the world of crazy 2020? I don't know who wants to start, but like, do you mind if we like pause education for a while and just like hang out?
I would love to hang out.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Laura,
So
you start us out.
Yeah, who wants to start?
Laura, you start.
Okay, I'll go first. I don't mind to start. Okay, yeah, so I grew up, kind of background. I grew up, my father was a college professor, and we grew up, we moved so many times. I think the longest that we lived anywhere was probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, but we grew up moving through all these college university towns, which was super fun. And just got a love of education. I think I mentioned this on the last podcast that we were on, but we were always told that we were going to go to college. Like it was where we were going to go to college, not if we were going to go to college. So we grew up with this love of education, lifelong too, not just through college. I mean, I talked to my dad yesterday and he was like, yeah, you got to go learn something. So it's a love of learning for lifelong. And I, you know, I went and I got my master's degree from Carnegie Mellon University in nonprofit management. I worked at Deloitte Consulting for 7+ years, and then I stayed for the last couple of years, stayed at home to raise my children, and now I'm looking to get back into the workforce. And this kind of just happened along with Kelly, and I just caught my heart. I'm like, if I'm going to put my skills in anything that matters, this is it.
Wait, so you're thinking about getting back into the workforce after spending, all these years at home supporting your family, and you decide to join a startup nonprofit that's trying to help educators, that's all free? That sounds really stable. Good for you, Laura.
Well, I was given an opportunity to go back to Deloitte, and then I would love it. Deloitte's an amazing company, but I wanted something that that was closer to home, that was closer to the heart, and I don't know. I just really wanted to help Kelly, so I give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. It's just amazing, and I know we're going to make a success out of this. It's going to be great.
Oh, so cool. And I love hearing how people get into the work that they do. I just think that, I get asked frequently. In the last interview I was doing last hour with the Unlocking the Middle principals that I was chatting with, they're like, how'd you get into education? And I think everybody has their own journey getting into their passions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting to think about, like, we all have options of where we work, and we all have reasons why we work there. And Laura, for you to be reflective on, I was doing my own thing. I was super happy. And then as I started looking at the type of work I wanted to do in the future, this is like what fuels me, like joining a group that is like built on wanting to do good. I mean, that is what we all aim to do. It's so cool.
Well, you want to do something in your life that makes a difference. You want to do something that brings hope and gives something to somebody else. And education is the one thing that nobody can take from you. If you get yourself an education, you are going to make your life better no matter what. And that's one thing that nobody can take from you. And you're always going to have that. And it matters a lot. So to me, that's the biggest impact that you could possibly. It's like, giving somebody the tools to succeed. And that's what you need to. There's no more ultimate gift than that.
I love that. Nicole, what's your story? Did you have the exact same story as Laura, where your father worked in higher ed, and so therefore it was super easy? This whole transition makes sense in the same way?
No. So I grew up loving school, loved school, loved to learn. I still love to learn, love to read. And so I transitioned from a small private school that I was teaching at to the school district that Kelly works at. And that's how Kelly and I connected. And that's how we, she told me all about this idea that she had. And I was like, yeah, let me know if I can help you. That sounds awesome. And, for me, reaching out to offer my help to her was because coming from that school that I had come from, there weren't a ton of resources available to me. And I really didn't know where to look or who to look to for help. And so I wanted to get involved with Education Blueprint because I knew that if I could help other people not have to have that same experience as me, where they didn't know where to go or who to turn to ask for help, that was exactly what I wanted to do, was to help other teachers and to give back to other teachers. So, but yeah, my outside of teaching and outside of school, I love to cook and I love to bake. I like to shop all the time. Like,
great.
If I'm not on my work computer, I'm probably shopping on my personal computer. So my husband knows he asked me, what boxes are coming to the door every day. So sometimes I tell him and sometimes I don't.
It's better when it's a surprise, right?
It's a surprise for you, or it's a surprise for the house, or, so yeah, he's He gets it.
Well, I do have some hard-hitting questions for you guys about your life. Like, you know, if you are a dog or cat person, favorite movie. So that'll be coming next. But if you're watching right now, we're honestly just hanging out. We're talking shop. We're talking about how we all got into education. If you're just popping in right now, feel free to join us. We'd love to have you like post a funny question in the comments if you have something goofy, like if we've ever had our hair a different color, or our favorite teaching position we've ever had, or something goofy. Just feel free to throw it in here. We're just hanging out on this Sunday, not only answering your questions, of course, if you have any education questions, those are for a game, but also just sharing and trying to share some positivity into the world before we all start our next week. Kelly, we're on you, and we are all going through kind of like what our background life looks like outside of our jobs. So I'm interested to hear yours, because I actually got to meet one of your family members right before we came live. And so I'm excited to hear about your life a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have an interesting backstory as to how I got into teaching. I think I did not teaching was kind of always in the top 5 of what I might want to do. You know how you go through school and you do all those interest surveys and stuff like that as you get into middle school and high school. But I wanted to be an architect as a kid. I drew and designed houses, and I loved drawing buildings. I was really into art, took art classes outside of school a lot, but I always wanted to be an architect. And one of my middle school teachers, we had a career project we had to do, and I interviewed her husband, who was an architect in our town. And he actually said to me, girls can't do this job well. And I was young, you know, and I was very impressionable, and it kind of made me shift. I never went home and told my parents or anything, just because I thought, I don't know, I trusted authority, and I assumed that he just kind of knew something I didn't at that time. But I had gone to his architecture firm for a day to observe him, and I ended up kind of thinking, okay, I guess this isn't for me. This is something that an adult told me that isn't really for young girls, which looking back is so awful, you know.
Yeah.
That's just like you don't recognize that until you're an adult, but looking back, that's awful. So I kind of pivoted, and a lot of my strengths were in like creativity and art and bringing those together. And then through high school, I shadowed a friend of mine. Her dad was the head of marketing at Snyder's of Hanover. So if you've ever had their pretzels, I grew up in central Pennsylvania. So I would go down to the marketing firm with him in Baltimore, the ad agency. We would get to go to the ad agency and see how the bags for the pretzels were made and how everything was designed and chosen behind the scenes. So I went into college freshman year for marketing at Penn State. And in the back of my mind, there was something always about education that I loved. I was a huge fan of school. I loved school. I loved learning. I loved my teachers. And it was kind of just always, you know, then it was like always number 2, you know, it's always like, but I couldn't be a teacher because I love being around kids. I had worked at a camp. I loved being around kids, but I also just loved the idea of being around family and being around people all the time and making that difference, having that impact. And it wasn't until I went on a walk. My brother also went to Penn State, my older brother. And we were walking around campus one night after class, and he said, you know, I don't really see you working in, you know, New York City all hours of the day, all hours of the night. Like, you're really a family person. And if that's what you want when you grow up, like, I would highly consider teaching, because you know, you get to be around the community and the families all the time, and then also have your own family if that's what you want. And that is what I always wanted. So I have 2 boys of my own. They're 6 and 8. I'm expecting a 3rd boy in April. So I'm growing as I watch all these podcasts go. We keep growing here. So we'll be a family of 5 soon in April, and we're just over the moon. And I love that over time, as hard as teaching has become with, you know, keeping up with emails on top of teaching, on top of everything, the core of it is really just helping families help their kids. And that's what I absolutely love about it. Coming up with Education Blueprint came about because when I started teaching, I didn't realize just how many resources there were for educators. There were things I was finding that other educators were not finding, and I was realizing that I could help others by sharing what I knew. And I also realized that I was working in a really amazing school district with a lot of access to resources, and the foundational like money that was there was not what was available in other districts. I really wanted to make that an even thing for people, because I believe that no matter where kids grow up, they should have access to a teacher who has access to everything. And that's like the heart of this website, is any teacher for any kid in any zip code should have, this knowledge base of resources and help and support from other people around them. So my journey kind of skipped around. A lot of it was influenced by family and friends and people I cared about. But I think ultimately it landed in the right spot, knowing that I'm able to use some of those other skills and interests with this website and even in my classroom to bring it all together there.
So cool. I think knowing the backstory behind any team, behind any company, behind any nonprofit, behind any organization is really where I feel like you can see the heart of what the company's coming from. Like, I know we talk about Education Blueprint. I love this nonprofit, this platform of sharing and wanting educators to, have access to tools. And I love that we're doing the Gifted Grid campaign to just further emphasize how generosity is kind of in the air in this season, and what a great opportunity for every single one of us to go hop over to that website and throw a tool, a resource, a website, a book that we love that maybe will bring value to somebody else. But while all that's true, if the organizers of any organization aren't doing it for the right reasons, I really struggle supporting it. And it's not supporting it like, oh, I don't support this, but it's hard to celebrate the work on a consistent basis, because you really need to know the character behind an organization. And I knew that when I connected with all three of you, I'm like, oh my gosh, these are good people doing good things. And I feel like good people have to stick together. And I love that the Teach Better team has been able to further support and amplify the story of the work that you three are trying to do, because I know that it's coming from just a wonderful space of striving to be helpful. I mean, we're all in this world just to try and help others. And that mindset is rare. I wish it was like the norm, but sometimes it's rare to find. And I think anytime we're able to bring that type of energy, that type of real, humanistic nature to our network, the better. So I actually really like hearing about your backgrounds. I didn't know any of that.
Thanks, Ray.
Speaking of, we support you guys. We just had our
we love you guys too.
Love that swag.
Yeah. My husband just commented how nice it is. I'm part of the official network now that I have some swag. But I love, we've really enjoyed meeting all of you and your team, and even the people that are part of the Teach Better network have been so supportive of us. And we love the feedback that we're getting from everyone that has watched these videos and hung out with you, Ray, and the whole network, just because what goes around comes around. We're all willing to share and help one another out, and it just works out for the better that way.
No, I love that our network is sharing, and I love that Gifted Grid is going on all month long. So if you're listening right now and you're like, oh, bummer, I meant to share something, like #MeToo, I need to go on and I need to go and share a number of different resources, but I'll get there. And just like you, don't feel badly, just put it on your to-do list and don't stick it at the bottom. Put it more towards the top. It'll take 40 seconds. Consider it an adult brain break to go throw something up there on educationblueprint.org, and it'll be good. I want to ask you some questions. I pulled up questions, and you should know that I have not read them. And I want you to choose number 1 through 8, and you're each going to answer a question on my phone. Are you ready?
Sounds good.
All right. Who wants to start off? Who wants to start us off?
Just choose a number 1 through 8.
Choose the number 1 through 8. I have 8 questions in front of me.
All right.
Laura, you start.
All right, I'll go.
Laura, they like to throw you under the bus.
I know. I'm seeing a trend here, but that's okay.
Me too.
I just don't like hearing myself talk.
I'll go with question number 5.
Question number 5. Ooh, very, very personal, in-depth question, Laura. Here we go. When was the last time you sang out loud, and was it to yourself or someone else?
Oh, it was this afternoon. I was singing Christmas carols to my kids.
Is there a specific Christmas carol, or was this an entire concert where there was the variety?
To the world.
Hey, 'tis the season.
I did it. I don't know. I just been, It's just been such a hard year for everybody. I've just been super goofy just to be happy.
Duly noted. Laura will sing Christmas carols at any point in time. So if any of you are in need of a Christmas killer, call up Laura. You'll be fine. That sounds good. All right, Nicole, you're up next.
All right. Let's go with number 2.
Number 2. All right. Given the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want to go to dinner with?
Oh, those are always such good questions. Can they be dead?
I
Sorry.
It doesn't say they have to be alive technically. So
Okay.
you go crazy with your answer. If it makes it easier that they're still alive or dead, like you decide.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's like so many people.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. If they're dead, it almost opens up too many options because there's just so many. If they're alive, it's like it really limits you.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So let's go with someone who's alive.
Okay.
I would say John Maxwell.
Oh, that's a great one. Tell us about that. In case people don't know who John Maxwell is, like that is a great answer.
Yeah, thanks. So when I was getting my master's degree, the first leadership book I read was the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And it left such a huge impact on me. I learned so many lessons and had so many reassurances after reading that book, and I just couldn't get enough. So I started listening to like different podcasts that way, and it really just opened a whole lot of doors for me and just kind of changed the way that I approach different things and my mindset about different things. And so, yeah, I would really love to sit down with him and have dinner with him sometime.
Laura, are you jealous you didn't get that question? Did you have somebody that you want to have dinner with?
No, I might take her answer though. That's amazing.
Yeah. If you're going to dinner with John Maxwell, we'd all like an invitation, please.
Yes.
I would love to meet him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nicole,
if
seriously.
he's listening right now, then
Let me know.
yeah.
Without a doubt. Kelly, what number are you going to pick? 1 through 8?
I'll pick 6, please.
6. Oh, I don't know that I like this one. I feel like it's a lose-lose, just so you know.
Then let's go with 8.
No, you have to do it now.
Okay.
All right. If you were able to live to the age of 90, would you rather keep the body of a 30-year-old or the mind of a 30-year-old?
Oh, the mind. Definitely the mind. I would want to be smart. You thinking like the mind would deteriorate as you get older?
Well, I was more so thinking like if I'm 90, don't I want the mind because I would have learned so much? Do you get to learn? I guess I don't know. I have so many questions with this.
Yeah,
one.
let me rethink that one. So
I don't know.
I mean, my 96-year-old grandma is my hero in life.
Yeah.
She still has an iPad and emails me weekly. And she's one of the people that, like, people ask you, like, who do you really look up to? It's honestly her, because she's never stopped learning. Every time I'm around her, she has some new gadget or something that she's trying to figure out. And so I would like to have her mind, right?
Yeah.
And then if you can, have the body of a 30-year-old.
Right. So like then you could go run marathons and do, crazy stuff, whatever.
Right. Because even my parents say, like, they're in good shape, but things start to go after a while. So
Yeah.
I don't have to have the knee surgeries and everything I need. I am a runner, so I don't want all that to go down the road. That's a tough question, though. I definitely want the mind that's like full of wisdom. That is my old soul inside. Yeah.
Okay, so I have one question for all three of you, and I feel like this is going to be telling. So good luck with this one. It's going to be tricky. This is question 12. I scrolled down. Apparently there's more. This says, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or one ability, what would it be? Not an easy question. If you're listening right now, feel free to throw your answers in the comments. If you were waking up tomorrow and had the ability to gain either one quality or one ability, what would you choose? I think mine, I'm just going to go with like what's instantly in my mind. And just for the sake that now if I say it, you guys can't steal it, I'm going to go with I really need more patience. Like if I could wake up and just have an infinite amount of patience, I think that would be a really, really good quality to possess. And it's something that I'm like always trying to be better at. I don't know if that's I don't know. Don't come up with one better than mine. Come on.
I love your quality, Ray. I could use that as well. If I had the ability to create more time in the day, I would like that.
Whoa.
But I always feel like, the day is packed and purposefully. However, I'd always like a little extra time to put in some more fun stuff or downtime or time to relax. But I would like to expand.
So you want to be able to have like a 36-hour day, because then you could still sleep like 11 hours, but like fit in
everything you need to do.
Wow. I didn't even think of that one. That's a really good one. Nicole, there's no way you're going to top these. There's no way.
No, because those are both really good. And I'm struggling over here to think of one. Quality, I would say would be, I don't know.
Could I would want the ability to have my dogs with me at all time. Is that an ability?
Well, yeah. Hey, they make you happy.
Mine's on my lap right now.
Mine's right next to my feet. My dog goes a lot of places with me.
Yeah. I would say the ability or quality to, oh my gosh. Okay. Ability would be to I can't function when I'm hungry. So the ability to be able to have a snack at any point in time.
Snap your fingers and a burger would appear.
What you want when you want it. That would be awesome.
That would be I like that one. You could snap your fingers and milkshake right there.
Cup of coffee, popcorn. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I like that. There's a challenge going on right now with our Teach Better ambassadors that I know we're streaming to our whole network. If you're a Teach Better ambassador, you're a part of a challenge right now to send me an obnoxious picture of you eating popcorn. It's a really long story that you all will be able to see in 2021. There's a funny event going on that you will be a part of with a lot of popcorn being eaten. But let me just tell you the happiness I feel that for the past 7 days, all I'm getting is random text messages of people shoving their faces in popcorn. So funny.
Love it.
Nice.
Laura, what ability or quality would you want to wake up with tomorrow morning?
Well, I'm not sure if this is the right word for it, but probably assertiveness.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not even sure it's the right one because I always think of zingers. If somebody comes with me with a zinger or some kind of comment, it's a day later. Then I think of the perfect thing to say, or I think about what I should have said or something like that. It's it always takes me a day to think about things.
Like a quick mind or a quick wit. You know what I mean?
More quick, faster. Faster and in the moments, because it's always past the time and then nobody ever wants to hear it because it's way and I'm
Well, it's so funny, Laura, you're right. We all have people in our life that always have that super good one-liner, super good thought that you're how did you get there so fast? My sister would be that in a heartbeat. She's so funny. And hours later I'll be haha, I have a joke to that one thing you said 2 hours ago, and she's it's over.
It's over. It's done.
That would be
whatever that would be called. So that's what I would like more in the moment.
So fun. Well, ladies, I am just so appreciative not only of the work you do, but that you came live to hang out on a Sunday evening. It's always fun to just see you all and be able to talk Education Blueprint. Like I said from the very beginning, I've said it numerous times, but I love this nonprofit created by teachers for teachers, truly with this mindset of just wanting to create a one-stop shop to share things for free. But additionally, I kind of like that we also got to get to know you as people because like I said earlier as well, I really believe that it feels better. It feels more fun to support an organization and put some time and effort when you could be doing anything else, and choosing to put time and effort to help others when you know the people behind the work. And Kelly, Nicole, Laura, I love you guys. I think you're doing such incredible stuff. And I love that our network got to know you a little bit better and like see us all laugh, because there's such beauty in doing good work and just wanting to amplify the story and the work you guys are doing. So I really appreciate all that you do so much.
You're right.
We appreciate you too. Thank you.
But so fun. For everybody else, I hope you join us for the daily drop-in. Guys, that's happening every single morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It ends this week, though, which makes me kind of sad. So at the end of the week, that is the last daily drop-in. So make sure you tune in at 8:30 in the morning Eastern time. And we have a ton of guests joining us. Jeff, Dave, they'll be facilitating conversation, as well as myself. We'll be all over the place talking about a variety of topics, both at the classroom level and at the administrative level. We're also talking about SEL this week and how we can continue to talk about teacher care. So there's so much happening there outside of the normal Mastery Chat, Mastery Mastermind Rewind, Brain Breaks, everything in between. There's so much going on. In addition, I know you ladies know this, so don't tell, but there is a new release coming later this week of something that you don't know about. And I'm very excited to have that shared with all of you. So stay tuned with all the Teach Better content. Guys, make sure to check out Gift a Grid, which is a big push for every single educator to share one resource at educationblueprint.org. One thing, one book, one website, one worksheet, one activity, one unit, one grid, one something. Go share one thing at educationblueprint.org. I timed it. It takes 18 seconds to make an account and 46 seconds to upload something. So find 2 minutes and do that tomorrow. And I know Kelly, Nicole, and Laura will continue to keep their eye out to celebrate the educators that are connecting with this beautiful nonprofit. So Kelly, Nicole, Laura, thank you so much for joining us. And for everyone else,
Yes.
we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.